All right, welcome back. This is part number 4 for systems analysis and design, CSIS 2200, chapter number 12, part number 4. Can you believe it? It is a long chapter, but it is the last chapter for this term. Anyways, we're looking at the roles in the DSS environment. The roles are employment roles. Who is going to use it? Users. That's you guys. So they're critical because they use these DSSs. And they should be very friendly and very easy to input, easy to access, easy to code, including departments and organization units in addition to people. So everybody within the department usually has a role as users in these systems. Now, management or management designers, management defines the management issues in designing and using a DSS. So sometimes the users are doing a lot of the inputting. Managers are coming up with questions and objectives and how to, asking the questions of the data because they've got information that the users might not have. The users can collect the data, organize the data, do all that sort of technical stuff. Managers are the ones that have to think about the questions and what kind of answers that they would like to try to achieve with that, what kind of goals they're looking for. So issues that are related to management's goals and needs. Perfect. Determine what questions they want to answer. Exactly. So they're the ones that want to, they need answers. Users can't get the answers because they just don't have the information that managers do. Now, there will be technical people involved, and that could be some of our CSIS students or IT people, and they're focusing on the implementation of these, how to code these systems. They'll try to address some of the questions. These could be things like data storage, where's the information located, its structure, who has access, response times, security measures. So IT people have a key role in these systems as well, but more on a technical side. They don't get involved with questions or data input. They make sure the machines run, software's installed properly, security is okay, and the right people are using it for the right areas. So you guys are going to probably fall within one of those roles. Model builders, well, this would be, again, almost I would consider under technical designer, but they've got it as a separate role. Model builders, so these would be the programmers. These would be the people that work between the users and the designers to put them together to write the code. So they're responsible for supplying information, the technical information, what the model does. So they can feed that to the user and to the management. They're also going to help in designing in conjunction with, of course, management, what data inputs need to be accepted or inputted, and how the model's output should be interpreted. What kind of report types would be required, for example. What assumptions go into. So all of these would be things that a programmer would be tasked to do in a DSS environment. So what's the benefit? Why would someone want one of these DSSs? You think, sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? Well, it increases the number of alternative options. Sometimes these DSSs provide options that you may not know existed. Without the analysis, the statistical, the mathematical analysis, sometimes you may think, wow, I didn't even know we could organize, let's say, our finances like that, and we could save all sorts of money. Fast response time. Of course, these computers are set up. The structure is there. You plug the data in, you get information right now. Sometimes you get fast and unexpected results. Sometimes they help you answer one-of-a-kind decisions that they pop up, and with the data that they've provided can help you answer questions or make a decision that is unique. New insights and learning. When you go through these systems, sometimes you look at the data and they tell a story that you think, wow, I didn't even realize this. This is very interesting. And that could start something brand new. And that's something that's actually incredibly powerful and I think underrated within a DSS system is the new insights and learning that can come. Because when you start putting all this stuff together and you start looking at data and you start analyzing data, all of a sudden things start coming up that you didn't even realize. You start learning things about the data. And this, by the way, is where AI is going to excel. Because I think humans, we think slowly, relative to computers, I guess. And they're making huge strides in looking at data and getting the computers to learn new insights from data. Improve communications, control and decisions, cost and time, effective teamwork, use of data resources are all additional benefits. So you can see here why companies like these, because they give them such powerful tools. Management loves these things. And what they try to do is they try to task the right person that shows interest, that shows ability in these systems to get them on these projects. So again, that's why you guys are researching some kind of MIS system so you can become better at it. And throughout your career, you're going to be doing this more and more and more. All right, executive information system was another one we talked about in the learning objectives at the beginning of this core or this presentation. So an EIS is an interactive information system, which is kind of similar to what we've already been talking about, but geared more to around higher level decisions. So it gives executives, CEOs, sort of an easier way of to access internal and external data. It is a type of DSS. If you want to think the executive information system is, in a sense, just a decision support system, but for executives. How's that? Includes a digital dashboard, usually, because executives, they like colors, they like graphs, they like charts, they like lines and all that kind of stuff. Easy to understand, good user interfaces usually. Designers focus on simple and user interfaces. They do, because it's not that management can't understand it. They've got so much to consider. They have to summarize everything from the operational, the tactical, up to the strategic to make these decisions. So that you want to summarize it in a very clear way. So collects relevant data. That's so important, relevant data. I could tell you stories about data that's not relevant, that just confuses and makes decision making even harder. Include a digital dashboard. Of course, we just said that up here, didn't we? Includes a digital dashboard. I think somebody cut and paste that one twice. Make it interactive. Of course, I think I said that too. Anyway, trying to pad up my PowerPoints here. So an executive information system, again, is basically a DSS, which things that we've already talked about here. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so reasons for using one of these executive systems. Well, we've already talked about this. It provides managers a decision-making tool, of course. Its graphical view helps of data helps to make decisions because you're putting it in a very easy to understand way. Used to share information with others. Used by managers to improve effective decision-making. Of course, these are all things that we've just talked about. So packages and tools, tracking information, flagging exemptions. These are more of the more detailed specific features of an EIS that makes them a little different than a regular decision-making system. So tracking performance wouldn't be a topic necessarily of a decision-making system. Tracking performance is being able to track how is a particular salesperson performing, for example. Now that might be in a regular decision support system, but the executives of the company want to know how their employees are performing. A lot of you are going to be in a position and you're going to have to go through a performance review. This will be something that most people go through on a biannual basis, and we do it as faculty. We do evaluations and we track our performance. So it's a way of measuring the employees, and it's usually done by executives, someone above them. Flagging exceptions, organize and rank, compare, spot trends, forecasting, etc. So these are all kind of characteristics unique to the executive information systems. Forecasting is definitely one for executives because they want to know what's going to happen in the future and to make a decision. Let me give you a quick example of that. All right, so let's say, I don't know if you guys can see this on your chart or not. Let me just put it into the PowerPoint. All right, I grabbed a snippet here as an example of forecasting. Now, if you're going to make a decision, okay, let's say you have some stocks and you are investing, and you have to make a decision. Should you buy or sell stock? Or let's say this is your company, and this is how your company's stock is performing. So by looking at this, it's kind of telling you a couple things right off the bat. It just on a cursory view, you see the green line, which is obviously is projecting in a very steep upward trajectory. You also see that in the last time frame that the stock has been going extremely well. So if you're going to make a decision, are you going to say, okay, let's liquidate everything and sell? Or are you going to see how it goes over time and maybe hang on and get a little bit more profit? So with this executive system, with all these data points, can you make a decision for forecasting into the future? So the future is uncharted here. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but by using the data analysis, we should be able to look at this and say, I think I'm going to hang on to the stock, or I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because whatever I'm doing seems like it's working. So there's a very typical example of using a component, a forecasting component in an EIS to make a decision. Now, do you think making a decision of selling your stocks or buying more stocks or holding your stocks, those are your choices? And can you make a better decision? If you didn't have this information, all you're going to be doing is just looking at other data. You could end up making a different decision. So a lot of this right here, and I'm going to drop down to my last point, is a lot of this is being replaced with business intelligence. So a lot of this stuff like tracking performance, flagging, organizing and ranking, comparing, and all that kind of stuff, all of this is now being organized in Power BI and Tableau using business intelligence. So I've said that so many times. I'm like a salesman here for that concept. So I hope that makes sense. Let's get on to the next one. All right, the next one is group support systems. Now, GSSs help assist decision makers working in groups. More than likely that most of you are going to be doing group work. You've probably done it in your school already, in your classes already. If you haven't, you're going to be doing group work. And group work has its pros and its cons. It's good and it's bad. Computers can be used, and these different systems can really help out with this. Now, let's say that you guys are really interested in this area, and let's say you're in project management and you're working in groups, and you want to do a research project on in your area, and you're looking for different MIS programs that are software as a service to meet my criteria. I would suggest or recommend you look at something like this product right here. Now, I've only looked at this in a very cursory way, but what it does is it allows you to organize teams in a very graphical way and work on project work. So if you're in project management, this would be something, I think, a product that you may consider looking at as your research project for the course. And there's lots of them out there. There's lots of different types of these, so this is not the only one. But you can see here, it's just monday.com. There's no software involved. You just open up an account, get started, learn it, try it, and you're going to do a presentation on it. All right, so I hope that gives you an idea of an example, anyway, of a group support system. And these systems help, of course, communicate with people in the team. They help to formulate and organize your processes, implement decision-making tasks, delegate time, building out Gantt charts and different tasks to get to your goal. Helps overcome limitations of group interactions. It's one place for people to stop. It's a good way of organizing. It reduces, of course, those communication barriers through emails, or you miss the thread, or all that kind of stuff. It's very specialized in keeping groups together. Okay, and then you guys, I think what I'll do is I'll let you guys pursue this a little bit more, because this is a specialty area. It's another, I gave you an example of that monday.com. There's lots of them if you get out there and look at it. So these are all different components that would be incorporated into that system that would help make decisions. Groupware is another type of, well, the other one is group support system. So what's the difference between groupware and that? They're pretty similar. Sometimes you heard the term groupware. And I've got some links. Oh, I think because of the timing so far that we've spent on this, they're brainstorming. This is another free one that you guys can check out if you didn't want to pay. Let's say you worked for a company and they didn't have a big budget for it. You could do that. And just understand what groupware is, which includes usually a group of different tools to organize groups. The system that I use, the Curriculum Navigator that I'm in charge of, uses what they call workflows. It automates that process between passing it from one group to the next group to the next group. And so I would consider the managing information system I use considered a groupware as well as a decision support system. And it is a semi-structured system as well. So hopefully all this is kind of making sense. You can put this together. Electronic meeting systems. Well, we've done so much of this. I mean, if I ask you guys what electronic meeting system, there's Zoom, Teams, Skype for Business, and there's Blue Jean. That's a proprietary one we use at Douglas College. There's lots of them. Graphical information systems. Like I said at the beginning of this video series, that this is for geographical information. So it's very specialized, to say the least. So you can look at this and say, okay, well, where do most of my customers come from? You can map it. You can then say, okay, well, what should I put a store in that location? Should I sell a certain type of product based on my demographics of where do my customers live? So this information can be very, very helpful, especially when you're in sales. If you think about Douglas College, would Douglas College have a need for a geographical information system? Well, we have a brick and mortar institution, and students usually come to the college for conventional classes. Although we're doing these things online, we don't really have a geographical limitation. So GIS doesn't really work for Douglas College in both aspects, online or face-to-face, because I mean, I guess you could say, well, students have to come to our location, so they have to live within transportation distance of the college. Anyway, there's other data type of points that are specific, like points of where they're located, GPS locations, etc. This is what a sample of one of these looks like. You've probably seen these kind of things before, a picture of the map. And this could be like a shipping routes. Like if you're shipping something, you definitely would have a geographical information system in play. If you're selling products, you probably have a geographical information system in there as well. Google Maps is probably the largest one out there. And there's so many products that are based on Google Maps. But there are proprietary ones out there. I put up a video here. You guys can check those out if you're interested. There's some pros and cons to this. I'll let you go through those because I'm kind of running short for time here. I don't want to, normally we have about a 2-hour window for total time for these online lectures, so I don't want to go in too much further. Just see if there's any kind of key notes I should make here. GIS systems. Oh, these are some of the industries. It does say educational planning could use one of these, but I could dispute that, I guess. So if you're working in any of these areas, you may use a GIS system. If you're working in real estate or marketing or insurance, government, whatever, there's a good chance you could use a GIS system. Yeah, there's lots here on GIS systems you can read. And that brings us down to the summary, which brings us to the end of the course. So I'm really happy to be through it, and I hope you guys have learned lots in this course. Definitely start working on your research project for your managing information system, and if you have any questions, you can send me emails, and all the best, and I'll see you guys during the final exam.